primary ignition.
Welcome to Unlimited Power. My name is D-Rod, and here's my guide for playing Hunter at your local pre-release for Shadows of the Galaxy, the next set in Star Wars Unlimited, the trading card game. Now, if this is one of your first time watching my videos, I always want to start off by saying some of the cards we're going to be looking at are going to be commons and uncommons within the set that work really well with this leader and their color types. Now, there are going to be good rares and legendaries that obviously work well with certain leaders, but the reason why we don't focus on those is because those are going to be few and far between in the 6 packs you receive in your pre-release kit. Since you're only going to get really 1 in that card slot, maybe 2 if you're lucky to get a foil or a hyperspace, it's just kind of better to focus on cards that can really fill out your deck and do what you need them to do alongside your leader and their ability. I also want to say that there are some leaders that don't really work super well in a limited format, and I think Hunter is going to be one of those cards that does have a few restrictions. But if you end up getting all the colors to play him, or maybe you're a fan of Hunter and the Bad Batch series, let's go ahead and talk about some cards that will work for you in that limited format. Let's begin by looking at Hunter as a leader card himself. As a leader, Hunter has an ability to pay 1 resource and exhaust him during an action to reveal a resource you control. If it shares a same name with a friendly, unique unit, return that resource to its owner's hand and put the top card of your deck into play as a resource. All right. Anything that's going to give you a paragraph of text is it's probably going to have a few restrictions to it. Hunter comes with a lot of restrictions. So you need to use an action to use this ability, and you have to have 1 resource available. So it already kind of puts him a little bit past the tier 1 slot here. You have to be able to reveal a resource. So you have to have a card in your resource pile that has a same name as one of your other unique units. So you have to have 1 resource to use this ability. You have to have a unique character type deck, and you have to be able to have multiples of those unique characters in order to use this ability. What this helps you with is the ability to kind of bounce characters from the field. Not sorry from the field, but essentially have units in play that you can get later, just in case the unique one already in play is struggling to stay alive. So we'll look at a couple examples here, but this is very limiting. This set does have a lot of unique characters. Most of them are going to sit in the uncommon and the rare slot. So this is what makes Hunter a little bit difficult. But let's talk about some of the other cards to make him work. As an epic action, you can deploy him when you have 7 or more resources, which means you can do this as early as turn 6. When he comes out, he's a 5/8 unit with Overwhelm, so stats-wise, he is pretty tough, and he is going to be a problem for your opponent. But you still have the same ability when he attacks, and this time it no longer costs you a resource. It just costs you an action, and you need to be attacking when you do it. Some of the first couple cards I'm going to recommend are going to be the ones that match his leadership aspect, and let's look at Echo. Echo is one of the few hero cards that fit within this color scheme of that is still an uncommon or a common in the set. Echo's a 4-cost 4/4 with Restore 2. So stat-wise, he's pretty decent. That Restore 2 is definitely going to come in handy, and he has a win played effect. When played, you may discard a card from your hand and give 2 experience tokens to a unit in play with the same name as the discarded card. So Echo does something similar. He's looking for cards that have same names, so this is also going to be difficult in a limited format where you may struggle to get multiple copies of a card. But if you do, you can use Echo's ability. You do not have to because it's a you may ability. Sundari Peacekeeper is going to be the next one, a non-unique character, but it is great because it's a 3-cost with a 1/5 stat, has Raid 2 and Restore 2. Raid 2 means every time it attacks a unit or a base, it's going to get a +2 power while attacking, and Restore 2 means every time it attacks on a unit or a base, it's going to heal 2 from your own base. So I think Sundari Peacekeepers are really strong and you get a lot of value out of it. It's going to be tough for your opponents to kill with that 5 health. Last is Delphi Patrol Wing. This is another good one that pairs well with any green-white cards because it's a 5-cost space unit that you can just play. It's a 4/6 unit, and when you play it, you may attack with a unit. And if you have the initiative, give that unit +2/+0 for the attack. I like this one because you can just use this with Hunter, no problem. Play the patrol wing, attack immediately with Hunter, give it +2 if you have the initiative, making him I believe a 7 cost, or sorry, the unit that hits for 7 with that overwhelm ability. It's a lot of cheating mechanics, and I think that's what you're going to need here in a limited format to help Hunter get you where you need to be. In the command aspect, let's look at a couple other cards to help you fill out your deck. First one's going to be Outflank. You're going to be playing a couple units, that's for sure. And in green-white, you'll probably have a lot of lower cost units. With Hunter, yes, he wants to see unique ones, but again, in a limited format, you may not get many unique copies. So plan on filling out your deck with a variety of units if you need to. And Outflank is going to be a strong one because it allows you to attack with 2 units for 1 resource as an event. This is essentially going to speed up your turn, helping you keep initiative, as well as have your units get more value before they die to your opponent's units. Next is going to be Spark of Hope, a 2-cost event that says you can choose a unit in your discard pile. If it was defeated this phase, put it into play as a resource. I like this card. So think of it this way. Let's say you have Echo already in play. He's a 4/4 that's taken 3 damage. If you're lucky, you maybe got a second Echo because it's an uncommon and you have it in your resource pile. Use Hunter's ability to go ahead and take Echo out of your resource pile and put it back put it into your hand, and then wait for your opponent to either kill your own Echo or swing into one of their units to trade. You then play Spark of Hope, put it into play back as a resource. This is essentially going to lock in you having Echo available to play a 3rd time in the game. So I think that's where Spark of Hope is going to help you out. Yes, it works with a lot of other units, but that's just a way to use it with some of these unique units so you can continue to get value of putting a unit on the board. And last is Gamorrean Retainer. Kind of a no-brainer here. Units that give you some type of benefit as long as you control another unit of the same color is going to be pretty good if your leader is that main color. So for here, you have Gamorrean Retainer. That's a 2-cost unit. It's a 3/2 with Sentinel as long as you control another green unit in play. Cunning's probably going to be one of the weakest ones for this. There are not that many unique units in the common and uncommon slots for Cunning. One of the big ones, though, that will help you out is Fennec Shand. Fennec is a higher tier unit with a 7 cost, but she's a 4/6 with ambush. And on attack, she deals 1 damage to the defending unit for each different cost among cards in your discard pile. So the variety of cards that you've lost that have gone in there are going to help you defeat units before she even hits them for that 4. And I think that's always a pretty strong one. You can afford to grab a couple if you pull them, and I think that'll work. Another unique unit is L337. Straight out of Solo, this 2-drop unit is a 2/2 droid that says, when played, you may rescue a captured card, and if you don't, give a shield token to this unit. It also has Smuggle, so it's an easy one to put into your resources and bring out later. You can kind of save this card for when you need it if your opponent's playing a heavier capture deck, or if you get multiples, then it'll work with Hunter for you to be able to replay this card easily to either rescue or get another shield. Last is going to be Surprise Strike for the Cunning aspect. Surprise Strike is a 2-cost event that's a reprint from Spark of Rebellion. So this is a classic card here that says you can attack with the unit when you play it and give it +3/+0 for this attack. So doing a lot of damage here with green-white, I think is going to be strong. Again, imagine playing this on a Hunter with that overwhelm. He's going to be able to just tear through units and do some damage on the base. You're really building a lot here around using Hunter for a lot of damage, and I think that's okay. For the aggression aspect, I'll recommend Ketsu Ono, a great heroic unit that only costs 2, so hopefully you can get a few more of these. They're a 3/2 unit with Saboteur, so they can get through shields as well as avoid Sentinel units. And when they deal damage to a base, they can defeat an upgrade that costs 2 or less. Upgrades include things like shield and experience tokens, or any other printed card that has the upgrade title. Another unique unit I'd recommend is IG-11, a 5-cost unit that's a 6/5 when it's in the ground arena. And it says, if this unit would be captured, defeat them and deal 3 damage to each enemy ground unit instead. And on attack, you may deal 3 damage to a damaged ground unit. So he's going to be spreading damage all throughout the board, as well as it is a unique unit. If you're lucky enough to get a 2 or 3 of these out of your 6 packs, you could really do a lot of work here with IG-11. And Detention Block Rescue is going to be my last card in for the aggression aspect. A 3-cost event that deals 3 damage to a unit, 6 if that unit happens to be capturing one of your cards. For Vigilance, one of the best common events we've seen in the game so far is Rivals Fall. Now, this is probably the card you want to watch out for as well when you're playing Hunter, because it has the ability to defeat any unit. Space units, ground units, leader units, it will destroy one of them. So be mindful if you're playing against a blue player that Rivals Fall may take out your Hunter. So it's important to kind of avoid it if you can, dance around it, force your opponent to play the fall, or just kind of be aware before you equip Hunter with a lot of other things. Next is going to be Embo. A unique unit for the Vigilance aspect is definitely what we're looking for. There are a variety of uncommon ones, but Embo has a way of at least protecting himself and other units in play. For a 3-cost, he's a 3/4 that says whenever you complete an attack, if the defender was defeated, he'll up to 2 damage from a unit. So he wants to be swinging into units himself as well as healing himself or others. And last is Clan Rescuer. Kind of an odd choice, people would think, but it's a fun 2-drop that has the ability to give an experience token to any unit. So I think whether it's early or late, as long as you have another unit in play, you can really take advantage of Clan Rescuer, putting those experience tokens on someone like Hunter or one of your Sentinel units or itself. And for hero aspects, I'll recommend the Wookiee Warrior. Just kind of a strong unit in the heroic aspect, honestly. It's a 4-cost, 2/5. It has grit, so the more damage it takes, the more damage it can put out. And then if you played this when you had another Wookiee, draw a card. Next is Gray Squadron Y-Wing. Really excited to see this one hit the board. It's a 2-cost space unit that's a 1/3, but on attack, if the opponent chooses a unit or a base they control, and they have to make it receive 2 damage. So those kind of things really get into your opponent's head. It really adds up those types of damage. If they only have 1 unit, they have to choose it. They have no units, it's going to have to be a base. I think it's always going to work out. And last in for the heroic aspect is just Protector of the Throne. 3-cost, 2/4 unit. Put an upgrade on it and has Sentinel. If you don't have an upgrade, it's just a good 2/4 that you can use. But in this set, you'll probably have a lot of upgrades because that seems to be one of the prevalent themes in Shadows of the Galaxy. And in the non-aspects, we're going to recommend Rich Reward. Here's an upgrade for you that says the attached unit gains bounty +0/+0. And when they're defeated, you can give an experience token to each of up to 2 units. So that means 1 experience token to up to 2 units. And I think that's what you need for this kind of deck. Lady Proxima is going to work out as well. She's an uncommon, unique unit, so a couple of those wouldn't hurt you. It says whenever you play an Underworld card, you may deal 1 damage to base. You may not be playing too many Underworld cards, but again, this may benefit you with Hunter's unique ability. And last is Twin Pod Cloud Car, a staple in the limited format because it's a 3-cost space unit that has a 2/2 stat and restores for 2. If this card is out for too long throughout the match, it really will add up the amount of health that you've healed from your base, as well as the amount of damage that your opponent has taken. This is a card that will be a target for your opponent. They're going to want to deal with it or trade into it directly. All right, that is my guide for playing Hunter at your local pre-release. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you're excited for him. If you pull a great rare or legendary, put that in the comments and how you used it. I'm excited to hear about it and more excited to see Hunter in a constructed format where you have more access to unique units. But I wish you luck with him and may the Force be with you.